Alright, working on Project Z Jizzle today. And by we, I mean me. We are welding in the Clayton stuff here for the 3 and 4 link. Now, I didn't buy their links because I wanted to build them myself. I wanted to build them, much more better than what they got. Using 1 1/4 ballistic joints. I had to put that one in there before I welded all this in because it's not possible. Well, I guess it could be possible. It's a pain in the ass. Anyway, so this is just in your standard 95. This is what we're getting rid of. Get rid of all this crap because 3 link, awesome. I wish I would have done a little bit more research on this before I pulled the trigger. Not anything bad towards Clayton, but there's a couple other different brands, like I think it's Iron Rock, which have a much more low profile, because when you put this 3 link cross member and this in here, you lose this much ground clearance. But I mean, granted, it kind of comes in line with this transfer case here, which has a bad mount, and I just kind of put some spacers in there to pick it back up, but not necessarily a Clayton problem. But you lose a lot of ground clearance. Now this needs to be pushed back up so we can gain more ground clearance, but let's see if I can do this. So here's the frame stiffener. Put this up there and see, I mean, you lose that, but at the same time you gain structural rigidity and stuff like that. I could put a skid plate in here, which I guess would be more beneficial than just having all this stuff hanging down here. So get the grinder out, taking off some of the sealer and the paint so I can weld this in here. We got the old Everlast. This is like the 2nd or 3rd time I used it. Had to take a break because my CO2 regulator started getting really cold. So I'll make a couple more videos, put this all together as we go along here. It's probably going to be a little loud. I got a couple vent fans going on here, but making progress. We got the stiffener put on, and we got the rear part in. So far, I only blew 1 hole in it. And this is with the Everlast Cyclone 200E set on the 3/16 power set, automatic preset setting. I didn't even mess with it. We're using CO2. I have to take a little break here. This thing's starting to get cold again, but yeah, got her burned in there. 1 long stringer across there, and then I'm not sure I'm gonna do here. I might put a little piece in there and fill that in, but yeah, not too shabby. So we're gonna get started on the other side while the machine cools down a little bit. I'm a little concerned though. I had to cut the exhaust out, as you can see, because it goes straight through there, so we'll have to address that at a later point. But I'm a little concerned since this front has the cross member that goes across, keep everything from twisting. I'm wondering if this is gonna twist and shout as it goes. So I guess we'll have to address that later. But we're gonna get this cooled down. We're gonna put some paint on all this stuff so it doesn't resist. Forgot to put paint on this guy when I put that in. So far so good. I think I'm going to get some metal here maybe next week. These links up here, it's gonna be about 3 feet or so. I'm gonna push this axle forward for now to get a little bit more clearance from this edge here. So this will get cut off, and you already had to put that one in. I already showed you that, but we're gonna push this forward and we're gonna push the back. So we'll get a look-a-rooney on that when we get that far. But yeah, it's a little progress update so far. The old Cyclone 200 running on straight. CO2 seems to be doing pretty good, no hiccups. I figured if it was gonna blow up, it would have done it by now. It's got a nice fan in it, so we'll see. Looks pretty good so far. I'm no expert, but melting metal together is not exactly a quantum science. One thing I did forget to do was I bought the bigger bolts for these. I got the 5/8 bolts. So I had to, made the mistake on this one. I had to cut it out the first time I welded it and drill it out bigger, and so I forgot about that. So I'm gonna have to drill this out while it's in here, because you know it looks like it ain't coming out of there ever. So yeah, I wonder what I'm gonna have to do about this guy though. That's I guess that's a little oversight on I guess on my part, but we'll address that guy later. There we go. A little bit of paint action. Hopefully this stays on here. I hope it does. On to the other side. Alright, so on the B side, didn't do very good as well as I did on the other side of prepping this, so I had a little bit more spatter than usual. But a little concerning here on this side. I had about 7 or 8 blow-throughs. On the other side I only had 1, but not sure if that's just because of me or if there might be a little rusty poo going on inside there. So I'm not really too sure about that. Maybe not. It's pretty clean. I mean, you'd figure if there was evidence of rust to be able to see something somewhere. So one thing I wanted to mention here was if welding next to fuel lines scares you, don't do it. Get somebody else to do it, just so you don't blow yourself up, because these are brake lines, fuel lines, and evap right here, right next to this welding. So if you're terrified by the fact that you're, ooh, damn, it's actually pretty warm. If it terrifies you, don't do it. Get somebody else to do it, or look at something else, something bolt in, because those are fuel lines right there. So yeah, I guess we'll come back when we get the other piece on. Alright, so got it all welded in there and painted up a little bit. So yeah, I'm not really too sure the welding, the process of welding towards the end here started getting real spattery, and it was acting like it was having a hard time holding an arc. So I mean, I kind of painted over it, but you know, it's kind of hard to explain. But it's almost like I wouldn't say it was overheating. You know, it's getting hot. Like the machine still feels hot. Doesn't feel hot. It's not blowing out hot air. You know, the ground clamp was a little warm right here. And Everlast, if you're watching, this is junk. This like 4-foot cable here, this is retarded. You guys need to fix this. You guys need to stop selling these until you fix this. This is retarded. How am I supposed to, you know, if I didn't have this stand here, what am I supposed to do with this? I mean, this is retarded. Your ground should be at least as long as the lead, you know, the welding lead. This is stupid. I don't know who in your marketing team decided they wanted to save $4 in wire to, you know, increase profits by 0.001%, but you guys need to fix that. It's garbage. It's junk. It's stupid. You buy a $800 welder and the ground cables, it's ridiculous. You guys need to fire whoever came up with that idea. But yeah, I mean, it blew through a couple times. I don't know if that was because of the rust on the inside, if there is rust, or you know, the other side was real easy. It went nice and smooth. I mean, maybe this welder can't do this much welding. You know, maybe it has to stop and cool down. But you know, in between welds, you know, I did probably 6 inches here and gave it a minute, did 6 inches here and 6 inches there. It's not like I went straight across, you know, so it did have plenty of time to cool down and rest. But you know, it's funny, the irony of how the universe works. In a previous clip I was talking about how I forgot to drill that out to 5/8 for the bigger bolts, and that I would do it on this one. So yeah, awesome. I totally forgot. And you know, it's cool because the bolt hole goes directly into the fuel line, so that's exciting. Now I got to drill out all 8 of these holes somehow. But you know, stuff seems to fit pretty good. You need to get the tube so I can make my arms, so we can move forward. But I think that's going to be it for today. Need to close the doors and get the heat going in here. It's 54 degrees here and wet here in old Western Washington down by the water, so yeah, pretty cool, making progress. Yep. Also, another fun fact I forgot to mention on the front is that you might have to do a little clearancing to get these bigger bolts in there. I mean, if you use the stuff that it was designed for, I guess, I don't know what size, I think it's 9/16, but it might work better, probably. You know, I'm no mathematician or anything, but you know, if you use the stuff it's designed for, it's probably better. But I have broken 9/16 bolts before, and it was a very traumatic experience in the rain, and you know, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I'm not doing that anymore. So drilling some holes here, trying to see if we can light ourselves on fire. And of course, now I can't do this with one hand, but yeah, right into that fuel line, so I'm gonna go slow. And also I discovered that this is gonna rub on that fuel line, so I'll have to address that too. I think we'll probably just push it up higher. Maybe pull it out of here and move it up one or something. We'll figure that out in a little bit, but yay. So yeah, it's nice and warm in here now. I got the doors closed and kind of do some touch-ups, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this exhaust, because I have a piece of steel that I'm going to attach to this here to cover this transfer case, kind of a little, you know, a little skid to protect that. So also I need to address this motor mount here. For some reason I just can't seem to find one locally. All I can find is the 5.2 mount, which is slightly different. So woo, it still kind of stinks like burnt paint in here. So yeah, two things to work on. Got to fix this mount. Need to get this transfer case back up where it goes, because so you can see the linkage is kind of off kilter there, which is making it kind of difficult to shift at times. But yeah, so we're making progress. I might have to address that brake line there. Maybe have to work on that. We'll see. But this exhaust, not really sure. I guess I need to get the rear arms put together and kind of go from there. So this is gonna go, you know, well, straight back, and then this one's gonna go straight that way. So it's gonna interfere here. So I might just put a resonator on this thing and just turn it down. I guess that's one option. I guess I'll have to see what happens. But okay, bye bye.